everybody. Welcome back to Fantasy and Fandoms podcast. This is Melissa with my co-host here,
Michael.
And in today's episode, we are going to be talking about the Game Awards 2020. And this is our fourth take because our dog was whining in the background, so we are trying to make this as clean as possible. So if you do happen to hear her at any time, we're sorry.
And I pulled a Robert Downey Jr. Do you know what a Robert Downey Jr. is?
I know the person, but I don't get.
Okay, so he's infamous on his takes of like Marvel or anything that he's doing, that you have to get it on the first take, he says. Otherwise, it's just going to go downhill from there. Anything that takes more than one take with Robert usually ends up being 100 plus takes, is what he says. So you have to capture it in one go.
Interesting.
So, yeah, if the more you do it, the less proficient you become. That's a Robert Downey Jr.
Well, you're less proficient all the time, so I really don't understand. No, just kidding.
I'm glad that we're going to be able to catch on audio her verbal abuse.
All the dissing that I give Michael. Yep.
This is a mild sauce of it.
It is. Just you guys are getting just a taste of it.
So, Game Awards 2020. We have a lot to talk about.
Yep.
We have a big one that I'd love to go over. I hate the game of the year, but we'll get there. I would like to start off by talking about some of the things that were introduced first.
Yes. Okay.
We do actually have a list. Melissa took the opportunity to write a lot of this down. Very smart. So if you guys hear some paper and rustling and stuff,
that's me.
That's her.
That's the list.
Yeah.
Because I can't do the tablets or anything like that.
Yeah.
So.
And we wanted to be able to share this with you guys. So that's it. So honey, why don't you start us off with something like at the beginning of the list? What do you think?
So the beginning of the list is the pre-Game Awards show where they talked about they started off with the awards then. Yeah. Kind of a little bit. Just kind of like the small ones. So you have the best score. And that went to the Final Fantasy remake. Now, do you agree with that? Because I don't think you've played Doom.
I played barely any Doom. Not enough to even say that I played it. I didn't even clear the first level. I just got bored of it. Yeah.
No offense to the Doom
no
fans
offense
out
to,
there.
No offense to the Doom fans.
I'm just not the person itself.
Yeah.
Or it could have just been the day. Sometimes you know how you play a game that you play so much and you're just I'm not feeling it today.
Yeah.
Maybe it could have been something like that. Or you're just not into it, which is fine too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Ori, which we haven't played yet, but we got it on the Game Pass, so we can play it.
Yeah.
And of course The Last of Us is on there, but it didn't win it.
Thank God. Thank God. One of them it didn't take for the night.
He's gonna say that. So the next one is Best Action Adventure Game. So you got Valhalla.
No, hang on. I want to go back to the audio thing. You asked me if I
I'm
agree
sorry.
with that.
Do you agree with that, Michael?
Yes.
Okay, moving on. No.
No, I do agree with it. I find it hard to agree with, though. I'm a huge Final Fantasy fan.
Yeah, you're
so,
a nerd.
I'm a big nerd. Yeah.
It's okay. I'm a nerd, too.
I love Final Fantasy, and I think that the soundtrack was really, really good. But Ori is a great soundtrack. It's beautiful. It's cinematic. And I think that it was a really, really close contender. So, as far as my answer goes, yes, but it was not a clear cut for me.
Yeah, it doesn't stand out like this game definitely had the best score. It's just kind of there's a battle going on. Final Fantasy, yes.
Yeah.
However, Ori's up there high as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, may I move on?
Yes, now you may move on.
Best action adventure game. So you got Valhalla, which that was just released, a couple weeks prior to?
About a month, yeah.
Something like that, So I really don't understand why, a newly released game that hasn't really been out for that long gets on the Game Awards.
Yeah, wow. That's true. I can see why they didn't put Cyberpunk on it, obviously, because it was basically released the same day of the Game Awards. But, I don't know. I still think that it deserves a chance, and given that we haven't played it, we did not take the opportunity to try and play it. My main motivation for that is I'm still working on the Ezio collection, and then I gotta do other Assassin's Creeds. Like I want to do it chronologically.
You have to do the Origins. You have to do the Odyssey.
Yeah.
And then you could do Valhalla.
Eventually, Black Flag. Which my boss at work says that the shanties in that game is amazing.
What's the shanties?
The shanty?
Yeah.
Are
they
it's the pirate music, like.
Oh.
You remember from like Sea of Thieves? Yeah, that's the.
Oh,
that's a shanty.
Oh, okay. It's an instrument.
Yeah, it's pirates singing. So, yeah.
Well, sure. Okay. Then you got Ghost of Tsushima. Then you have the Marvel Spider-Man Miles. Ori is also on there. Mm-hmm. Star Wars is on there, and I think that's like that Fallen Jedi Order one.
Yeah, the one with the kid.
And The Last of Us Part 2. Yeah. Which went to The Last of Us Part 2 as the best action-adventure game.
I don't see it. Because...
We haven't played it. Guys, hear us out. We haven't played it yet. I'm still saying that can still change. I think... Okay, so this wasn't on the last episode, but we haven't finished The Last of Us. We haven't finished it.
Yeah.
So we need to finish that, play Part 2, and then come back and be like, do we agree with our statements of it, or have they not changed? Yeah. I still think we need to do something like that.
I'm leaning so heavily towards one thing on the list that I just can't see any other game, and that is Ghost of Tsushima, for one main reason: action adventure game. It just iconifies that. It's basically like Skyrim.
Samurai.
Yeah, it's basically like Skyrim. You can adventure wherever you want. It's beautiful. They innovated to where, like, oh, hey, you want to do map tracking? You follow the wind. That is such a cool feature to me.
That is a cool feature for sure. Yeah. I guess, like, I kind of agree with you on that. That, Ghost of Tsushima was a good action-adventure game.
Yeah. And, like, okay, it gave you so many things to do. There was so many, like, random encounters throughout it. It just made it feel like such a good story, you know? So, for me, even though I, spoiler alert, did not like the ending of it, even through all that, I still think it is an absolutely miraculous game. Like, without a doubt, okay. It should go to Ghost of Tsushima. So, it would take a lot. I mean, it would take a giant strong arm to lean me toward The Last of Us at this point.
You were pretty hyped up for Ghost of Tsushima.
I was very
so hyped that you had to get a pre-order of it.
And it was my wallpaper at work for like a month.
Everybody was like counting down. And then he just finished it like not even a month ago.
There's so much to do. I like did.
Don't give me that crap. Look, there's so much to do in Skyrim, and you haven't finished Skyrim.
I wanted 100% completed. I wanted to do everything, and then like, not even getting like 1/3 way into the story, I realized that would not be possible.
It's not. I don't think it'll be possible for you to get that for Skyrim or Red Dead Redemption 2. Like you would have to.
It's hard to do with those types of games.
I like those.
There's a lot.
Well.
Yeah. I agree. I like those too because then it feels like there's always something to do,
Yeah. So the next one would be the best family game, which I kind of like, I kind of went back and forth. So you got Animal Crossing. You got, what is it? I think it was Fall Guys. I think that one's Crash Bandicoot. Then you got Mario, you got Minecraft, and you got Paper Mario. The Origami King or whatever.
Yeah. And see, you went for Paper Mario, right? That's what you were leaning towards?
Yeah. And I haven't played it, but it just like brought back to the first Paper Mario game, and that was super fun.
Oh yeah,
I loved it. So I'm just like, yeah, obviously it's gonna go to Paper Mario. Yeah. Who wouldn't like that?
I can't remember, and this is completely like digressing to the topic, but I can't remember which Paper Mario it was, and maybe you people in the comments can let me know, or Honey, if maybe you remember. There was a Paper Mario where like you could hatch these pigs, I think, from like, I think they were eggs, or maybe you just like got them from. I don't know. You could collect these pigs.
I have no idea.
You have no idea. I feel like there was like some kind of like I want to say Poogie, but that's not it. That's from Monster Hunter. I know that's from Monster Hunter. But there's like this random like mini game where you could collect the pigs, and I loved it.
Huh. Well, yeah. You were a mindless child back then. You didn't know any better. It's okay.
I'm gonna Google it while you bring us up to the next topic.
Yeah, okay. Well, the next topic could be some of the games that were shown previews of, which is Sea of Solitude, which I didn't realize it has already been a released game.
It looked good.
And it's becoming, a director's cut for the Switch, and yeah, that one looked really good, so I'm going to be playing that here soon. Another game that's actually just released is Shady Part of Me, which that looks like a really dark game. And I really like, like indie games where they just take it in a freaking different direction.
Yeah.
So, like, I want to play that too. There's a lot of games I really want to play.
Yeah, I completely agree.
Yeah.
I think that what really caught my attention, and we did actually have to go back and watch the trailer for was it Sea of Sorrow, right?
Solitude.
Sea of Solitude, yeah.
Yeah, it's an S. Yeah, you got it.
Yeah, we had to go back and rewatch it because our stream crashed, and we were like, screw it, we're moving it to the TV because we were originally watching it on her phone while we ate.
Okay. Listen. It was on the Twitch app, and
yes.
The Twitch app sometimes just hiccups, and then it doesn't bounce back. So I don't know if anybody else has crashed on it. And then we just went to YouTube, but yeah, we just put it on the TV, and it was just fine after that. Yeah.
I mean, either way, we did miss it originally, is what I'm trying to get at. So we did actually have to go back and look up the trailer.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah,
the fact that we went back and looked up the trailer, it's a pretty good sign of a good game.
Mm-hmm. It is.
Now, before we go on to the next topic, I wanted to say I Googled it, I found it. So those are them. In case you're wondering, I'm showing Melissa a picture.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I do remember
the
those.
Lil Oinks. Now, Lil Oinks. I'm gonna read from the Mario wiki here.
Oh boy, you can't trust Wikipedia though.
Lil Oinks, also formatted as Lil Oinks, which I don't know what the difference is there, are pig-like animals found in Toad Town in Paper Mario. Cool. So I got it right. It was just the original.
There was a sequel. Was there a sequel?
Yeah, there's a sequel. It was Paper Mario and the
what? Because I just remember Paper Mario, the first one. I don't remember there being a second.
There was a gate.
A gate?
Yeah, Paper Mario and the Gate of something or another, or the 1,000-Year Gate. Paper Mario and the 1,000-Year Gate. I'm pretty sure that's what it's called. Anyways, before we are leading into this chain of searching stuff, yes. They have a variety of different patterns on their skin. Lil Oinks may or may not be used as livestock by the toads, so they did not confirm this. We don't know if the toads actually are pork lovers. Mario can buy a Lil Oink egg for 10 coins. So I was right, they hatched from eggs. Wow. That was how many years ago?
That was mindless information. And you
I can remember it.
But you can't remember, me saying, hey, honey, can you go to the store and get me this? You're like, sure, honey. And then you just, come home and be like, oh, crap, I was supposed to go to the store. Yeah. Useless information. That's okay. Okay, so the next award was Best Community. So you got Apex, Destiny 2, Fall Guys, Fortnite, and No Man's Sky. And it went to Fall Guys.
The best community game.
Best community. Mm-hmm.
I kind of agree with that, just because it brought people together in a really, really crappy time,
Well, sure.
And it was fun to watch, and yeah, it was.
I just like people rage quitting.
Yeah,
that's the fun part of me watching that. Yeah. So then you gotta hear paper, or not. Okay. So then then now the teasers.
Yes.
So you're getting into the show, and they're like, okay, here's a teaser. Which the first one, was, what was it? What is it? Smash Brothers, or Smash Bros.
Yes. Sephiroth. Oh my gosh.
We were like, okay, so this is just like my point of view, and then you could just take it like, you know, you give me your point of view, I guess. Yeah. So, you know, the guy's just like, you know, the host is just like, but we're expecting somebody, aren't we? Yeah. He's like, yeah, okay, what? Who is, you know, going to be into the game? I don't play, well, actually, you know, I'm going to take that back. I do play the games, but we just, you know, we don't own it.
Yeah.
But anyway, I was just like, okay, what lame character are they going to bring in this time, you know? And then you see, like, them looking up at the sky, and you're just like,
yeah, they're being overwhelmed by master hands.
Yes, yeah. I'm just like, who in the world can do that? And then you hear the one-winged angel, and I just, like, my heart fucking dropped, and I'm just like, so this is what it feels like when you come and you see Sephiroth, and you're just like, oh, shit. You know?
Like, that was an amazing reveal, and I love how they had this big ominous-looking thing, and then, like, they had all these, like, master hands coming down, and you're like, oh my gosh, you know? And you're wondering what the hell is happening. And then suddenly, the big thing gets sliced in half, and you just hear, ba-na, 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 and you're just like, dun, dun.
Yes. So, like, I haven't played the original, like, Final Fantasy games. I've only played... What is it? Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles, and I hated that game because I couldn't continue it.
Because you didn't know how to do the mechanic.
I don't know anything. Anyway, so, yeah, so him playing Final Fantasy Remake, you know, and, like, kind of like seeing snippets of Sephiroth in there, I knew what to expect for the game, you know, but to sit there as a new person, you know, and then you see, you know, him, and oh my god, I just, chills.
Yeah.
Oh, it got me so freaking good.
Yeah, like, as far as fantasy villains go, Sephiroth definitely, like, lists pretty high up on my list.
Yeah.
Yeah, as far as,
he is, like,
crap moments of somebody who comes into the room.
Yeah, I just, like, so I don't, like, know, like, the whole story of Sephiroth. So I want to know, like, more about him. You know, and obviously finish the Final Fantasy Remake. Boo. And of course, you know, there's going to be part 2 of the Final Fantasy VII Remake, you know.
Yeah.
But I want to know more about him before I could be like, yeah, he's, like, the fucking worst villain. Because a lot of people in the comments were just like, you know, Sephiroth's not that big of a deal. But that freaking music, like, how is it not?
Yeah.
You know, and calling him the one-winged angel and stuff like that. You know, like, what am I missing here?
Yeah. Like, his backstory is really, really cool.
Yeah.
But, like, okay, so there's a lot of backstory involved with Sephiroth, and it really relates down to, I think, what's that alien thing called, or whatever, Genova? Something like that.
I am, like, blanking on it. It's been so long.
Didn't you say you watched Advent Children?
Yeah, I watched Advent Children. That's what kind of, like got me curious of Final Fantasy again, was the movie. Like, I had no idea what was going on, so I was, like, Googling everything, like, Aerith, like, who was she, you know, and Tifa, you know, I was Googling everybody, you know,
like, if you've seen Advent Children, then you have, like, kind of a grasp of what's going on. I think just to have the full experience, though, where I'm just gonna have to play the game, and then you can just judge for yourself.
Yeah, sure.
But there's a lot of, like, mind stuff going on in it, too.
Okay.
Yeah, so.
Cool deal.
Something to look forward to.
It is. I'm still, like, excited for it. Okay, a new preview would be that new Nier game.
Oh, yeah. What was it called? Replicant or something like that?
Replicant 1 point, blah, 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 and the numbers just kind of go crazy after that.
Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember. But yeah, that's a good one to look forward to.
You don't... like, we're just, like, watching it, and we're just like, yeah, that's totally Nier, and you got music, you're like, yep, that's Nier too. And then you see those little, like, purple balls, and you're just like, deja vu.
I hate that. Okay, this might be like a once a freaking podcast, like, thing that comes up, but I hate those orbs because I hate that bitch. The worst boss.
She isn't in the game.
Oh my god! I hope they don't have a boss like that in the next game. I will cry.
Yeah.
So, but I'm definitely looking forward to that one because I think that they said chronologically, it happens before Nier Automata.
Yes.
So I'd like to like play it just so I could know what the hell's going on. You know.
Yeah. For sure. I'm still curious about it. I really like Nier. I really like the soundtrack. Yeah. And yeah, I just want to know what happened. Yeah, just like what you said, just before Nier Automata.
Yeah.
Okay, so the next award was the best performance. So you have two, I think, yeah. So there's two of Last of Us. Abby won, and that's Laura Bailey, and she sounds very familiar. I know I Googled her.
Yeah.
And then you got Hades, you got Morales, and then you got Sakai.
Yeah.
On the best performance. Do you, like, I know we haven't really watched Last of Us of anything, but do you...
Of the short snippets that I've seen, the voice acting did look pretty good.
Yeah.
It looked pretty emotion-packed. Like, the people were really, really putting their heart and soul into it.
Yeah.
You know? So, as far as that goes... I won't complain with that one as much as the other ones, because with like Ghost of Tsushima, they were very, very true to like the Japanese culture. They really got a lot of it right with the like very few, I say quote unquote small details, because they're not small details in a historical perspective, but in a video game cultural like transition perspective, it's not really that huge. Meaning like their armor style and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It really wasn't that back in that time frame. It was a little bit more
this is just like imagination stuff right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there were portions of it that were historically off just very slightly. But like as far as the voice acting goes, it was good in parts. And in other parts it was just kind of like, there's not a lot going on. It's peaceful. You know, there's not any need for like craziness.
There was like no yelling.
There was one part there was a couple of parts where there was yelling, like there
for him.
Yeah. Okay, the beach when he was for like the beginning of the game, when they were fighting.
I don't remember him yelling in that.
Okay.
What? Like, can you give me something?
The execution.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, he kind of got a little bit emotional there.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. So we
just went to like an
people
unintentional dark area. We're just like, oh right, yeah, and we're just like really sad about it. Sorry.
So people who haven't played the game, play the game.
Yeah, it is pretty good.
It's amazing. Sucker Punch did amazing.
So, best ongoing game went to No Man's Sky. And yes, you remember it?
Yes.
The guy, he's like, I'm going to take a drink because I know we're not going to win. It's like, No Man's Sky. He's like, oh crap, we won.
Yeah, like, his look of surprise as he's drinking, and then like, it's like that person that just gets caught mid-swig and was just like, congratulations, and he's like, his eyes just get all big. It was great because they were going up against some like really heavy contenders. Like list off some of the contenders, if you will.
I didn't.
Oh, you didn't write them down.
This is where I got really tired.
Oh,
my hand was just like, stop. And I'm just like, okay, I'll just put down the winners from now on.
That's okay. I do know that Fortnite was one of the contenders.
Why?
Yeah. And like as far as that goes, like as far as best ongoing game, I would think, probably Fortnite, because they've had like 1 billion battle passes now, and everybody was swooning over it for like 10 years. It was
How
a
long
really.
has it been out? It hasn't been out that long. Maybe 5?
I don't know. I don't really.
I'm gonna go with 5.
I'm probably gonna go with 5 too. That sounds like a good ballpark. But as far as that goes, I can't see. I'm glad that No Man's Sky won because I'm a huge fan of the series. I know how much work they put in to make that kind of thing happen.
Yeah.
I know what the game was in the beginning and where it is now because I've been playing it. So it's just they deserved it. but they went against giants. So it was kind of like the what is that story? David and the Goliath or whatever, right? So the kid with the slingshot that took down the giant.
No, I don't know.
You didn't go to Bible school?
No.
You need some Jesus in your life.
No, like, this is gonna sound really weird, but the church just like frightened me a little bit. No, because well, like the only time I went to Bible school was during like the vacation Bible school and the Christmas Bible school. I never actually went every Sunday.
Yeah.
But it just felt really weird, and I think just like how maybe like the teacher was with me, but she was just like explaining like, yes, God watches everything. Yes, he even watches you getting undressed, and that just freaked me out. Like, oh, I don't want to come here anymore, you know. So no, I just like have this like unsettling feeling like when I go into churches, you know, I'm just like, it's giving me the creeps. But I'm not saying that I don't believe in God. It's just I don't want to go to church.
I don't
be in the building.
Like, okay, so and my family is like devout Catholic, so there was a time when I didn't go to church for the primary reason that hey, you know what priests were. Little boys, so like that was a thing that everybody knew about, and it sucks, but
yeah, it does.
I mean, to each their own. You believe what you believe in, and you do you.
That's it. Yeah.
So, and that's
Yeah. Okay, the next one is Art Direction. That went to Ghost of Tsushima.
Yes.
So it was very, very pretty.
I do agree with that, because Ghost of Tsushima was like just a breathtaking game.
It is. It is for sure.
Okay, I every 5 minutes of that game, when I first started playing it, I feel bad for Melissa, because every 5 minutes I would stop and go, look how pretty.
I know, and I'm just like, can you just play the game? I'm watching you go play. Yeah, but yeah, he's just like, you know, and that's just him in real life too. Like he'll just like stop wherever we're at, and be like, isn't this nice?
I'm a sightseer.
Look at the structures, and I'm just like, I just want to get to point A to point B. I want to go shopping. Take me shopping. I don't want to just be like, oh wow, isn't this fantastic? No, I want to go.
I have appreciation for the little moments in life.
I think, yeah. Well, like, you know, I this is just the I want to say that I am the same way, but on my own time. If I want to go sightseeing and stuff, I will plan to go sightseeing, but you just do it on a freaking whim. If we're going grocery shopping, somewhere along the way you're just like, wow, isn't this pretty? But like, no. We're going to the store to go grocery shopping. It's not pretty.
She has to mentally set aside time that it's going to be a sightseeing thing.
No, it's not mentally. It's just, you know, like if I want to go sightseeing, I want to go somewhere and sightsee. If I want to go to a different state, let's go to a different state. And let's experience it. But I just don't want to do it in my hometown. There's nothing to see here.
Random rewind time then. Random rewind. That's a tongue twister. Do you remember when we went on that date, quote unquote date, not date, and we went down by the nature trail where we live?
Yeah.
And your comment to me, which I remember to this day, was you would make a good tour guide.
Yes, I remember it.
I was like, why? You're like, you just explain things good. Or something like that. I don't remember exactly
Okay, but you remember the tour guide part, but you don't remember the compliment following it.
I remember the compliment. I don't remember the explanation of the compliment. Because a compliment mattered more to me. And pushing you in the river. I said that.
Yes.
I panicked.
Yeah, you panicked.
I was like, pretty girl, quiet. What would happen if I pushed you in the river? This is my brain.
How did you get here?
I don't know. How did I get here?
I don't know either.
I must have been very lucky.
Yes. She's so happy.
I gotta take a second because we just rearranged our house the other day to kind of like make room for the Christmas tree and stuff, and we moved our couch. And our couch is closer to our recording area now.
Yes, it is.
And my dog is like doing her best to get as close as she can. So she's like on the couch.
Yes.
Like basically hanging off. And Melissa's giving her the mom look like, get down.
I don't want her to fall. Okay, she has fallen from like the table. Like she'll just be like, I'm gonna get down. She thinks she's a cat.
Yeah.
And I know dogs cannot freaking jump from that height, but she's just like, I'm gonna do it, and she has she's lived. But yeah, yes, I do get the mom thing, and I'm just like, oh my god, she's gonna freaking do it. She's gonna do it when I'm not paying attention or something. Yeah, I just get like that.
Yeah.
That's just what happens.
Yeah.
Okay, how about that Dragon Age trailer?
Okay, so you got me to be a fan of Dragon Age. I love the game.
What, like, you sat through Inquisition, you're just like, yeah, I'll give it a shot, but you never got hyped over it.
Yeah.
And until I started to play Origins, and you're just like, oh, Dragon Age is a good game. You know what? You're late to the party.
I am. But, so, okay. Now, I knew that Dragon Age was a good game. But, now, as for the trailer it goes...
Yeah, that was just a teaser.
It was it was just a teaser. It was a teaser.
Wait.
It was so great to hear Varric's voice again.
It was.
And that got me hype alone.
Yeah.
But I really was like, I guess mentally I hyped it up more than I thought it was going to be. Like, I thought it was going to be like some gameplay, maybe a little bit of gameplay review, maybe just like a date, you know?
I don't think, I think this is the first trailer they've released since they teased it back in 2017?
Jeez.
2018 or something like that? Yeah, it's been a couple of years, you know, and yeah, so this was the first trailer or teaser trailer of it.
I would have honestly preferred if they had just given us a nice trailer and then said coming in 2022. Even though it's a long ways away, at least we could have faith that it's going to come out. Because at this point in time, they're just they're long
know,
record right now.
They put in so much of it already. Why would they not complete it?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I hope not.
I think that it might be a BioWare thing, because I don't know if Dragon Age is really one of the better received games on BioWare.
I think Mass Effect is the more better ones. And you
know. Speaking of, they're actually doing another Mass Effect, so that could be why they're taking so long, is they put more of their resources into making the Mass Effect game.
Well, gosh darn it, I want Dragon Age to be good too, so they need to put more effort in that as well. But, oh god, what was I gonna say? I forgot what I was gonna say. It was something about Dragon Age 2. Crap.
Was it, the wolf guy?
Oh, the wolf guy. Yeah. Fenris?
Fenris. No,
I love my Fenris.
Not Fenris.
Oh, you mean Solus?
Yeah, Solus.
He looks good. I'm still upset about what happened. Do you know what happened?
Yeah. Yeah, you vented to me. Adamantly.
Was that before the DLC or after?
That was after the DLC.
Are you sure?
I think. Yes, it was.
Okay. So, did this... Do I remember telling you this?
That you cut your hand off?
No! Don't say it out loud! What if people don't know?
They don't know what that means. You'd have to play the game.
Do you know what I...
No, I don't know what you're telling me.
I didn't tell you about what happened in the DLC then.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
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 You need to play now.
You need to tell me offline.
Offline. Okay, so DLC, Dragon Age. Okay. Oh, crap. Yeah. Kind of.
She's trying to get
I
back.
know BioWare's going through crap right now.
Yeah.
Mainly because the two two heads left.
Yeah.
And that's they came, they left. Oh, they came back, they left again. You know, and I'm just like, what the heck is going on?
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a lot of fire going towards that. And I think I read this right. And I'll have to be corrected on it if I wasn't. But the guy that voiced, what's his name? Anders and Cullen. They're the same people. He's no longer working for BioWare, but he's giving them hell.
Oh, no.
So, but I don't know if it's part of, like, maybe he did something wrong and he's just trying to retaliate. Yeah. I don't know what's going on. I love Cullen. I love his character. I don't like the person that's being the character. I like
the character.
I like my character. Yeah. He's still my boy. And I love Fenris too. He's my boy too. I love Fenris.
Yeah.
I need to finish Dragon Age 2 though. I need to go back.
Yes, you do.
Yes. Yeah, so another game that I do want to mention is that Crimson Desert one.
Yeah.
That Korean thing that you were telling me about.
Okay, so kind of like rewinding a little bit, I have had the chance to play a little bit of Black Desert. Since I'm a huge MMO fan. Like, I'm born and bred on MMOs.
He bores me with it, but that's okay.
Like, my first game was RuneScape. My second game was WoW. Like,
WoW sucks.
I loved MMOs, and I still do to this day. One of my favorite games is Final Fantasy XIV, which, if you haven't tried it, do it!
It's a good game. Like,
it's an amazing story.
Like, vouch for that, too, even though I don't play MMOs.
Yeah.
My ex-crush tried to get me... I don't think he tried to get me to play WoW. I think he just wanted me to come over, but all his friends were playing WoW. So I think he was trying to ask me out during that time. That's what the story was. The gossip that I heard. But yeah, so every time I think of like, WoW, that pops in my head. Like,
you think of almost awkwardly being confessed to by a WoW nerd?
You know what? You even said so yourself. Like, when I was, like, totally dissing WoW when we first met, and you're just like, I don't want to tell her that I play WoW, too. So I'm going to keep that quiet.
Like, you'd be surprised at how many people actually have played WoW, though. Like, that just don't talk about it because it's not something that you would generally be proud of. Like, there are at least 6 people in my office that play WoW in their, like, recent vicinity. And of, like, I'm talking, like, 6 out of, like, 8. So the majority of us have played WoW at one time. Dave has played WoW. I should probably use, like, masky names. So I'm going to say Donald has played WoW. Oh my God. Goofy has played WoW.
Dumbass has played WoW, and you know what dumbass I'm talking about.
Actually, I don't. There's a couple of them. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, I was gonna write his name down and be like, this person.
So wait, we completely.
Okay, so MMO, the Black Desert, Crimson Desert.
Yeah. Right, yeah. So I played Black Desert. It actually was a decent game as far as like MMOs could go. I didn't really get into it too much though. I didn't like the combat. She almost drops like. She
was struggling. I'm sorry.
So I don't like the combat like mechanic of it. It was kind of like one of those hybrid games where it wasn't exactly like you have a skill set.
Yeah, it wasn't like when you were trying to play it. I don't know. There was something about it. I'm just like, even I couldn't get into it. Like, the customizations were, like, really fun.
Yeah.
I like that, but then it just kind of just died after that. And I'm just like,
Like, as far as, like, hybrid games go, like, I've played Guild Wars. I've played Terra.
I played Guild Wars, too, and I still could not get into that. It was just the game, the
gameplay, the controls.
Yeah. That's just what bothered me.
It's kind of, like, high-paced. It's, like, fast-paced. You know what I mean?
I don't do fast-paced.
And I'm
just like the chillax person, just like, I'm gonna go play Sims. And, and just play something like that where I could just do, like, one control, like, one button, boop.
Yeah.
And then just wait. Okay, you need to go to the bathroom? Okay. Boop. And just wait. Not this, like, I'm gonna do this. 1, 2, 3. Like, I've seen you fucking, like, click, over there. And I'm just like, why, how, why? I can't do it.
Yeah. Like, I could go on a spiel about this kind of things. Like, the optimal rotation for Dragoon in Final Fantasy. You have to open up with this and this and this. And then you have to use
you're already boring me already.
So, like, I'm used to that. I'm used to min-maxing on, like, skill sets and things like that. And it's just the gameplay did not mesh with me.
Yeah.
I didn't have, like, it just so much didn't mesh to the point that I didn't get a chance to get into the story too far, and I didn't really care. Mm-hmm. As far as Crimson, is it Crimson Desert, right?
Yeah, it's Crimson Desert. Mm-hmm.
Crimson Desert. As far as Crimson Desert goes,
looks good.
It looks really good. As far as, like, mechanics-wise, if it's just like, if it's Black Desert 2, I'm not gonna like it. I'm not gonna play it, you know. But I think it looks cool, you know. Like, it might push some other MMO companies to innovate more and you know, like, make their games more story driven on like voice acting and like cinematic level, because that looks very cinematic.
Yeah, it does. That's like what caught my eye. I'm just like, oh my god, this game looks like really good. I want to know what the story is going on behind it. Yeah, you know, yeah, it has captured my attention. You know, like what it's supposed to do. Yeah. But yeah, if it has that gameplay, then I probably wouldn't stick either. Yeah, that's just not me. To each their own. Yeah. So, something to look forward to, but something kind of like on the shelf for me. Yeah. Okay. So, so another Game Award went to The Last of Us for narrative.
I can't comment on that because I haven't. I'm gonna be fair. I'm gonna be fair, and I'm gonna give it to them and saying that I haven't played it.
So we can't really say anything about it.
Yeah, okay. So I can't judge.
Okay, well then we'll come back to that then.
I would like to judge because I don't think that they shouldn't have got as much as they did. But if they got that one, I would be okay with it because I haven't played it. Okay. And it might have a really good story.
It might. Okay, so Impact game went to Tell Me Why, which is the
Tell Me Why ain't nothing but a heartache. Tell me why. Oh, sorry.
Who's that by?
In Sync.
Anyway, so
Backstreet Boys. What was the other one? What? There was a third boy band around that time. What was their name?
A third one.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh my god, it was like...
I just know those two. Do you know any of the songs?
No, I'm going to have to Google this because that's going to drive me nuts. Keep going.
Okay. Anyway, so Tell Me Why was created by the people that did Life is Strange series, and I am a big fan of the Life is Strange series. I've played Life is Strange 2, and Before the Storm. And of course the little demo of Captain Spirit, I think it's what it was called. So yeah, when they kind of teased this...
98 degrees!
All right! Yeah, I remember 98 degrees. So sorry. They weren't right that great either.
Random interruption, I'm sorry.
Yeah, sorry. That's this really loud aha moment. So yeah, when they teased this like earlier this year for Tell Me Why, and then it just got released like back after back after back. I still haven't played it yet, but like I am like still oh horsey. Oh, look at that paw.
Our dog is pulling like the deepest sauce right now. Are you trying so hard to get attention?
Oh, she is.
Are you trying so hard? Oh no. You do not jump over the couch. I am
She has her hog.
Bad behavior.
Okay, anyway. Oh god. So, yeah, Tell Me Why. I am looking forward
Tell me why.
No, stop it. Next game that is coming out that Michael and I were just like, ooh, we need to play it now. It Takes Two.
Which one's that? Oh, right, the one that they looked like little toys.
Yes.
Oh, that looked like so much fun.
It looks like like they're married and they're just like, I don't like you anymore kind of thing.
Yeah, why are we here? Because you guys fell out of love.
Yes, the Book of Love. I love that dude.
I think I'm gonna puke.
You can't puke.
Told you. It looked like such good comedy.
It does, and because it is like a team game that we have to work together kind of thing. Yeah. Reminds me of Haven, which we still need to finish.
Yes, and Haven is a very good game too.
Haven is a very good game. That's I really like the
co-opness.
Yes, the co-opness and the story. Yeah, and where it's going with it. Yeah. So next award was Best Innovation, Last of Us, and
I can't see best innovation.
Game direction went to The Last of Us.
I can't see. Okay, that one. Oh, hold up a second. Hold up a minute. Hold up a minute. Because that one I have beef against.
I know you have beef against this
that one. I have beef
I know you do.
So there was this like press thing that came out that the studio that made The Last of Us, Naughty Dog, I think. Yeah. They were like, some of the employees and things like that announced that they had like sweatshop type like environment stuff.
Yeah, they were being overworked.
Yeah, they had massive overwork just to get the game out. You know, and I agree with this article that I was reading. You know, if you have to, if it's promoting like a sweatshop type environment, it does not deserve best direction.
Yeah.
Because to me that means then you're like putting that on a perspective of that's okay, you know, which we don't want that. People shouldn't have to strive that hard to, you know, like, I'm glad that they made a great game. Cool. They deserve that the praise that they got, you know, from the people that they did. I'm glad that they, you know, their hard work was rewarded, you know, but they shouldn't have to be in those types of conditions in the first place. And nor should the, like, society see that as a norm, or that's what you need to do to get there. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I have big beef with that one. I don't think they should have won that one. And actually, I believe they should not have won that one even more so than the Game of the Year. I am very mad that they won Game of the Year because, again, I don't see it. Like, that's just not what I view as a Game of the Year type material when it comes to, like, a statistical or viewpoint of what you would imagine the requirements have you of a Game of the Year needing to be.
Yeah. Well, it could kind of, like, you know, that's, like, what we don't know about is, you know, these awards. Yeah,
how do they scale them?
Were chosen. Okay, so, like, it's on their site.
Yeah.
They don't really explain, like, what the criteria is for it to be the guest game of the year. They're just going off of votes. Yeah. So, because it's not to the general public, it's actually going to companies. Yeah. So, Polygon is saying, you know, well, this is the game of the year or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
It's going off to those people, you know, and the industries, you know, the entertainment area. They are choosing it, and it's just like 100 companies.
And I don't know if I would agree with that type of, like, voting, like, thing. You know what I mean? Because, like, yeah, cool, that's fine that you let them vote for it, but ultimately, are they reflecting the opinion of the gamers that are playing it? And I'm not saying, like, a good game is determined by the players, you know, because that's not necessarily true. A good game could also be determined by, like, the wellness of the company, how well it's received in the public, like, you know, because in order for a game to be popular, there's a lot of things that they need to do, you know, like, so I'm not saying, like, it has to be all in the players, because, you know, obviously that wouldn't be fair, that wouldn't be true. But at the same time, I don't think that these companies really share a good opinion, like a general good opinion of what a game of the year would be.
Yeah.
Because then that's like saying, oh, you know, a company just determines what's good. You know, and I don't agree with that.
I don't agree with it either.
Yeah.
But that's how they did this, I guess. So, but yeah, I honestly, like, you know, The Last of Us was so hyped up, you know, that everybody was expecting, you know, it, you know, when it was, you know, announced, you know, we wanted to know what happens to Ellie.
Yeah.
So maybe that kind of, like, had some not answers, but, like,
that's fair, like some kind of impact on it.
Yeah,
like I think that you're right, because a lot of people were saying, like, they really built it up. You know, they, like, I don't want to say, like, cyberpunk, because I haven't heard that kind of feedback from it, but I do know that a lot of people have been saying it's meh. You know, it's meh.
Yeah, it's meh right now.
Yeah. So I will use an even better comparison, and I will say it was an Anthem, because Anthem was so heavily hyped. Like, people were so excited that this was going to be the next big thing. And it fucking flopped. You know, like, it flopped bad.
Yeah.
And for multiple reasons. For storyline, for lack of content, for lack of, you know, just motivation with communicating with the community, the player base. Like, there was a lot of things they did wrong. And it could be, in part of it, just the mindset. You know, like, so many people could think that this game is going to be amazing, and then it just sucks, you know, in their mind, because they put the bar too high. Yeah. So, yeah, I don't believe that, like, overvaluing a game before it comes out is a good, healthy mind habit to have. I think you should probably take things with a grain of salt, like, hope for the best, but prepare for a game. Don't expect it to be the next big thing. You know, I think we're all just really needing something like that with the way the world is right now.
Yeah. I think somebody kind of like described that with Valhalla, I think. Like, you know, they hype it and then it just kind of dies. Yeah. Kind of like Death Stranding. They're just like, they hype this game so much. Yeah. And then there's nothing on it anymore.
Yeah. Better example, Fall Guys. That was so huge during the summer. Yeah. Everybody was playing Fall Guys. Yeah. And now you don't hardly see it. Yeah. Like, we have this trend culture. You know what I mean? Like,
we do.
People are looking for the trending thing, and then after it starts to die, they get bored. They go on to the next trending thing, you know?
Among Us.
Yeah, Among Us.
And then now probably Phasmophobia, because that's kind of like, it's kind of like going back and forth. Like, sometimes Among Us, you know? Yeah. Yeah. Like, and since they're kind of like updating it too with weird stuff, you know, that's you're still improving it.
Yeah, I agree. So I guess, is there anything else left to talk about?
Well,
because I just like rambled off into the game of the year and why I was really upset about it.
See, this is
like, I couldn't wait for the next topic. Fuck the game of the year.
Yeah. So who do you think deserved Game of the Year?
Who do I think deserved Game of the Year?
Yeah.
Honestly?
Because that's kind of like a toss-up. Because, like, you know, the options, because you do have, like, Ghost of Tsushima, you got Final Fantasy, you got Hades, you know, and then, obviously The Last of Us. But, what would strike you? Because I don't feel like, now, I don't know if this is me, but I don't feel like anything is, like, impacting me to say, like, yeah, this was actually, like, a really good game. I would consider this.
Yeah, I would say the same. Like, you know, as big of a Final Fantasy fan as I am, the remake was amazing. They took, like, a completely different formatted game, told the same story on a different premise, and with different mechanics, but same mechanics somehow. Like, you'd have to play both games to understand what I'm meaning by this, but
I don't, because I never played, obviously. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, it's like, it's so amazing what they did with it. That
I believe it.
Yeah, like, it's not often that a company says, hey, we're going to do a remake of this game, and they
panic.
Yeah, because usually you think, like, oh no, this is another Netflix adaptation. Yeah. Like, it's just going to be crappy. But they did honor to that game, and then some. They were like, oh, hey, you remember that old, like, Model A Ford that was sitting out there that used to look cool? Let's hot rod it and make it look like a fucking amazing car. Yeah. Like, that's basically what they did. They did that. They made it look beautiful, and they retold the story the same way, but in a more beautiful, amazing way.
Yeah, and more on the deeper level, too.
Yeah.
For sure.
So, as far as Final Fantasy goes, I'd have to say that that's pretty high up there. I'd have to put Ghost of Tsushima pretty high up there, too, because of the effort that they put into it, the innovation that was in the game. But... But...
What's lacking, then?
It's a pretty game. It's got a pretty good story. I want to say, because it's a pretty good story. It's something you can get into.
I think it's, like, more, like, realistic point. Like, you know, if you were kind of, like, set back then, there was, like, no second chances. There was no, you know, mercy back then either. Kind of depends on what it is that I'm, like, referring to. Jin Sakai, you know, maybe he might show some mercy. Sometimes, most of the time, he doesn't. Yeah. Because you don't allow to get that second chance. But yeah, like, Go ahead. Continue. I forgot where I was going with that.
That's okay. I was just gonna say, like, there was one complaint with Ghost of Tsushima that I do actually have to agree on, unfortunately, that it was repetitive. Like, the side quests and things like that, like finding the fox dens, it got kind of boring after a while. Like, oh, there's another fox den. You know, like, it was repetitive, so not a necessarily good part. You know, like, the combat was kind of repetitive too. You did have to pay attention, but it was still repetitive. And
especially who your opponents are too, because you got like different stances for who you're dealing with.
Yeah, depending on what type of person you're fighting, you'd have to switch stances, and it's.
And I think that's cool. Yeah. I do like that.
Yeah, I agree as well, and like I think that was my only like complaint, was that there was a kind of thing. There was a part of the game. There was a mechanic, like, meant for the game that I did find boring. So in that perspective, I do have to devalue it a little bit below Final Fantasy, because there wasn't something like that in Final Fantasy for me. Yeah. It wasn't like, oh, this is the boring part. It was all interesting. Like, to the point where I was like, oh my god, what's happening now? Fat Chocobo! Like,
oh my god. I do like recall this like one area where you were just like, oh, can I just like get through it? And I think you're playing as Cloud, and you have to get Aerith through this like crowd of cars. You have to like move the cars and then move in a certain way, and then have her walk over. You're just like, please let this be done.
Yeah, because that was stupid.
Yeah, that was stupid too. And I'm just like, I know, I feel the same way, because I'm watching. I'm just like, oh my god.
Oh, and there was one other part in Final Fantasy. I do have to add on to it. Where like there was a boss that you fought, and then there was another boss that you fought. Oh, and by the way, here's another boss after that. I was like, why the fuck have I just gone through 3 maps, fought 4 bosses, and I'm not even to the next place where I can save or sell my stuff or buy anything? Like,
I remember that. I think that was like late into the night too, where we were like hoping like, okay, let's pause and pick up tomorrow, and we were just like, we couldn't find a place to pause. You had to go through it. Yeah. So that was a little bit of a downfall.
It was some downfall to it.
Yeah. Okay, so that wraps up today's episode. Please let us know what you guys thought of the Game Awards, and do you guys agree with us? Do you guys have a different standpoint on it?
Yeah, definitely let us know.
We will definitely play The Last of Us Part 2 and come back and say, hey, we liked it actually, or no, we're just gonna stand by with what we said.
We're gonna have to play The Last of Us Part 1, I feel like.
It's not called Part 1, it's The Last of Us.
The Last of Us Part 1. Like, we'll have to play The Last of Us first, because I do want to also be able to kind of gauge what people are saying. Like, it's not as good as the first one. You know what I mean? Like, I want to be able to have like some perspective. And
you're not that far in that game either.
You're
still.
You just can't get past the part because you're not good at stealth.
Yeah, I'm not good at stealth. Yeah, so you'll have to play it for me.
I mean, I could get you through it. I don't care. But like, I do want to have that perspective on it too. Like, what was the first game like, so we could see what some people are kind of referencing in that opinion.
True.
Just to keep our minds open.
Yeah.
But yeah, absolutely. I mean, that might even be its own episode in the future. Who knows? We'll have to come back to that. And at any point, thank you for hanging around, and thank you for listening to like all of our rambles.
yeah. Sorry, we do like ramble a lot,
especially when it's something like this, and I have such a negative opinion about it, and I'm just so salty. I get the salt vomit going, and I just won't stop, and I just complain. But anyway, I digress. So yes, thank you guys for hanging around. Do let us know you guys' opinions, and we'll catch you in the next episode.
Bye.
See ya.